Oh, I should take my shoes off. What is wrong with me? So how are your bodies feeling today, you guys? Hey, Elizabeth. Yeah, congratulations. Oh. I'm so mad. Rite Aid, like we made an appointment 3 weeks ago, a while ago to get our 3rd dose. And they sent us a confirmation email yesterday morning. They canceled both of our appointments with.
But you know what? CVS canceled me yesterday morning, and then they confirmed me. So I called CVS directly, and they said, "No, we've got you on." There was absolutely no one in the store, so I'm wondering if they're having,
Okay.
computer glitch.
Yeah, maybe we'll call again.
When are you supposed to be?
Saturday.
Oh, maybe they didn't.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, enough of this madness. I'm like, I love you guys. We could chat all day. However, we should probably move. Yeah. Anyway, so hello. Thank you for joining me for Pilates All Levels. My name is Audra, and today we're going to use a foam roller and a band. And the scramble begins. Yeah, we haven't used the big band in a while. It's exciting. Now, as always, if something doesn't feel right for you and your body, don't do it. Always, always, always listen to yourself. And I will offer suggestions and modifications. However, if you need an extra modification, let me know. We're going to begin standing. Now let's just bring our heel to our toe, like we're on a little tightrope, and just see where our balance is today. Now, if it's pretty good, let's go ahead and bring our arms in front of us, little like zombie arms. And then if that still feels pretty good, close your eyes for a second. It is okay to have your feet and ankles wobble a bit. That's all right. That's like your body finding itself in space, right? Couple more breaths here. Good. Then we get to do the other side. It wasn't so bad, was it? Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, just see where you are. This is my more exciting side, but maybe it's going to be your easier side. And breathe. Couple more breaths. And go ahead, relax it down. We're going to make our way all the way to the ground. So go ahead and bring your foam roller with you. And we're going to have it so our armpit can go on the long side. And we're just going to get a little bit of lat and then a little bit of rotation. So you are welcome to have the foam roller closer to your arm or closer to your hip, whatever feels most appropriate. And see if you just find a spot that makes you go, oh. So I don't want anything like too aggressive, right? We're looking for mild discomfort, not excessive pain. And when you find the mild discomfort, hold and breathe. So you inhale in through your nose for 4 counts, exhale for 6 counts. See if as you slowly exhale, your body can relax slightly. Now you can also try to cradle your head and see how that is. Now, if you're kind of going up and over, it's not the end of the world, but you're actually putting less pressure on the foam roller. So I would recommend trying to think of a side plank. So it's active. closing your ribs slightly and spiraling your elbow ever so slightly forward. How does that feel? It's a spicy meatball, yes. And then if it's appropriate, you can rotate forward slightly and then rotate back. If it's not appropriate with the arm elevated, bring the elbow to the ground. No problem. 2 more. Good. Now make sure the elbow is on the ground. You can extend that arm or you can keep your head supported. We're going to reach our top arm forward and push that fingertip forward so we get a little bit of rotation. And then open our collarbones. And again forward. Now, if it doesn't feel great to do this on the foam roller, you can always opt to do this just side lying. Couple more here. If you have a short foam roller at home, make sure you're at the front corner of it so you're not going to roll off. Lovely. Keeping your chin gently nodded, trying not to overextend with your rotation. Last one like this. And then just bring your knees to the sky, both hands behind your head. And we're going to get a little bit of upper back extension here. Now, if your neck is really extending, it's not bad. We want to be able to extend through our neck, but we're trying to get extension through our thoracic. And if we are not able to extend through one part of our spine, other parts will compensate for it. So sink your ribs down, push the foam roller away as you spiral your collarbones forward, and then slowly extend. So yes, your lower back will probably extend a little. Yes, your neck will probably extend a little, but we're trying to focus on the part that has our ribs on it. Couple more here. Good. Think about the collarbones coming forward rather than the face coming forward. 2 more. Last one. And we get to roll to the other side. So we get to roll onto that opposite armpit. I'm gonna just flip mine around so I can see all of you. And that bottom hand can come behind your head. Top hand doesn't really need to do anything. Nancy, switch hands. Thank you. Good. Now, roll forward and back a couple times so you can find the spot. And if you find an exciting spot, just breathe and hold. Remember, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. And if you're excited about this and you'd like a little bit more pressure, of course, you can pick that arm up. Once again, we're trying not to just extend over it passively. We want to think about reaching the crown of our head away like a little side plank. And notice that this might be a slightly different place than the other one was, right? And if it's like, oh, my lat isn't what is talking, but maybe something else is, maybe that is what needs a little attention, right? So don't worry too much. Try to keep your ribs gently closed, and we're just going to gently rock forward a teeny bit and back a teeny bit on that muscle. If there's like a ropey sensation and you're just kind of jumping over the muscle, instead of a big rotation, just hold, breathe, and move gently use your breath to help your nervous system relax enough. And then we're going to rotate a little bit farther. So if you need to come closer to the front, you can. You can keep that elbow on the ground. You can keep it up. You can bring the hand to the ground, whatever feels best for you. Reach that arm forward and then take it back. Now, we're trying to maintain most of the rotation through our rib cage. However, if you start arching in an attempt to keep your hips stacked, don't worry about it. As you rotate, your hips are probably going to try to move with you, and that is fine for this. Couple more here. And 2. Hopefully this is feeling good. Last 1. And go ahead and come back to your side. We're going to take the foam roller and place it lengthwise. Make sure that your band is near you. We're going to lie down on our foam roller. All the way down, making sure your head and tail are both supported. Now, just check out where your gaze is. If it's behind you, I'd like you to lengthen through your neck a little, nodding your chin, and then allow your head to be heavy again. So it should be just straight ahead, and just kind of see where you are, right? Notice if you're arched or if you are tucked, and see if you can find neutral. It's a little bit less comfortable on the foam roller than a squishy padded mat, but it's also a little bit more obvious, right? So as we lie here for a second, you can bring your hands to your hip bones. If you can balance. If not, you can bring your hands to your hip bones with your elbows on the ground, or you can keep your hands on the ground. Exhale, think about pulling your hip bones towards each other, away from your hands. And see if you just could feel your muscles start to contract a little bit. And then inhale, let your hip bones widen into your hands. And then exhale, little contraction. As we do this, gentle little lift of the front of your pelvic floor. Last one, exhale, sink the ribs down as well. Now go ahead, bring your hands to the sky, fingertips pointed up, shoulder blades drawing down. If you need your feet wider, it's fine. Now we're just going to reach our hands away from us, trying not to let the shoulder come forward and up. We want to keep it nice and wide. So only let your arms go down as far to the side as you can maintain that shoulder position. And then let the arm bones be heavy, heavy, heavy as you bring your hands back. Couple more like this. Last one, reach your, as they're wide, reach your fingertips to the, or your left fingertips to the left more and look to the right. And then other side. Back and forth a couple times. Last one, each direction. Now go ahead and bring your arms to a goalpost. They're probably going to elevate some, that's fine. Definitely come out of that entirely and then come into a goalpost. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Now, if you already are pretty retracted, let your arms come up and then wide goalpost. So we're not trying to retract our scapula here. It's not the end of the world if we do, but think about everything widening. Now, think about your shoulder blades posteriorly tipping or tucking under, and let your knuckles be heavier. Push your knuckles down, elbows slightly pointed up. And then relax. And then without letting the shoulders dive up and over, keep them wide, press your elbows down slightly. Everyone feel that stretch in a different place? Yeah. And then relax. Push both elbows and knuckles down. Now, do you feel how now your shoulders kind of, or your shoulder blades retract a little bit when they're both pressed down? Yeah, now relax. Now we're going to posteriorly tilt, shoulder blades tuck under, but don't retract, knuckles heavy, elbows forward. Now let it just relax. Now just let the elbows be heavy. And then relax, then press down with both, and then relax. Maybe your arms are a little bit heavier and lower than they were before, but without force. Slide your fingertips so your hands are reaching over your head, not in front of your face, but actually over your head, and then slide them back down to your goal post. And then slide them up again, and then goal post. Feel your shoulder blades here on the foam roller. See how they kind of roll, right? Maybe the tops of your shoulder blades touch the foam roller first, then the mid, then the lower part, and then they roll the opposite direction. Yeah. One more each side. See if the one that is smoother, right? Connect in with it, and then see if you can make the side that might be a little stickier match the smoother side. And then bring your arms back, and we can grab our band. Now go ahead and wrap your hands like little boxing gloves, just enough that you don't have to really like fight to hold on. There should be a tiny bit of tension to start, but not a lot. Our arms are straight, knuckles to the sky, but arm bones relaxing down. Now, think about the back of your shoulder doing this. If you feel the front of your shoulder or your pec doing this or your neck doing this, we need to change it up, okay? So think about your shoulder blades tucking under slightly and then push out into your knuckles just a little bit, bending your elbows down, squeezing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades together as your elbows point towards the ground. Then slowly let the arms come back. And again, elbows wide and down. Good. Everybody feel their back doing the work a bit? Okay. I would say give me a thumbs up, but in this position, it's a little challenging. Now, if you're feeling motivated, excited, adventurous, you can lift one heel as you do these, and then press it down as the knuckles go to the sky. Lift the other heel. If that's too easy for you, you can always lift a foot and then slowly let it come down. Other side, back and forth. Keeping the ribs sinking down. So we're still using our abs. Nancy, I'm sorry we're doing arm work today, but hopefully it will help you be less sore. If you need a break from the arms and just focus on the legs, that's okay. Yes. Last one, both feet down. All right, now go ahead and you can unwind a little bit. We're going to think about one of our knuckles being wrapped a little bit, other hand by our hip. Think about your shoulder blade rotating back as you point the thumb towards the floor. And then let it come back. Shoulder blade tucks under, rotates down. We are trying to find lower trapezius here. So it's not about shoving the shoulder down. It's about the shoulder blade rotating. So I'm going to show you from a different angle. You guys keep going. Hopefully you feel this because of the foam roller. But instead of like lifting the shoulder or shoving the shoulder down, we're trying to get the shoulder blade to posteriorly tilt, right? So instead of the shoulder coming up or being forced down, it's just a tilt of the shoulder blade. Good. Good. Feeling your back muscles. Try to keep that arm straight for me, Nancy. Don't worry about going back super far. Yeah, there you go. So it's more shoulder blade rather than bicep. Yeah, last one. And then we get to do the other side. So just wrap a couple times. Other hand down by your side. Now, once again, it's about the shoulder blade tipping rather than letting the shoulder come up or forcing the shoulder down, right? We often hear the cue shoulders down. And yes, that's a great cue to help us not have an upper trapezius strategy. But sometimes we kind of use it almost too much in our own body, right? We overcompensate with the shoulders down. It's just about not elevating them to begin the motion. Shoulders are supposed to be able to elevate at some points. We just don't want them always elevated. So think about that arm bone relaxing. Think about the shoulder blade rotating. Can you feel that back, your postural muscles a little bit? Shouldn't be huge, right? It shouldn't be the most intense thing you've ever experienced. But hopefully, you're starting to feel that point in between your shoulder blades and down a little bit. Couple more here. Last one. And then back. Good. Set the band just over your hips for a second. You can always bring your fingertips to the ground, hands to the ground, or they can just be on your hips. We're going to bring that one leg to tabletop and then flex the foot, push it away from you. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe it doesn't, and then it can fold in. Now, if your hands are on the ground and that's what you need to stay stable, that's fine. If it's a little too easy, come up onto little spider fingers. And if that's too easy, you can bring your fingertips to the sky. Now, think about that thigh bone connecting to your ribs. And then if you'd like more challenge, opposite arm can go overhead. We have 3 more. Letting that thigh bone fold in the socket. 2. Last one. Let's do the other side. So float that leg up, and maybe you start with your hands down. That's great. Flex and reach and fold. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm so close to both arms up, but I need a little bit of assistance. And you want to bring one fingertip down. That's fine. Maybe you take that opposite arm overhead. Give me just a couple more. 2. Last one. Go ahead, bring both feet down. You have options here. You can either interlace your hands behind your head, or you can bring the band behind your head and then bring your elbows slightly forward. It's up to you. Keep your chin gently nodded. Inhale. Exhale, curl your collarbones forward. And then slowly lower. Couple more. If doing this on the foam roller is too much, come onto the floor, please. 2 more. On your last one, we get to hold. Now, if it's appropriate for your body, lift the heel, press the heel down, switch sides. Now, if it's appropriate for your body, you can float a leg. If you're like, this is ridiculous, I'm doing this on the floor. Also great, it's no problem. Couple more here. Anybody else trembling or just me? Yeah, yeah. Almost there. Last one, each side. And then head comes down. Nice job, you guys. We're going to gently come off of the foam roller. And then if it's appropriate for your body, we're going to bring your feet on top of it. Now, if this doesn't feel good, you can always bring your feet to the floor. So first, we're just going to push in with our toes and then our heels. Toes, heels. Notice how the foam roller gets farther away and closer. Good. Now find center. Arms are going to gently push into the ground. Feet push into the foam roller. Come into your bridge. Making sure that instead of having the weight on your neck or lifting from your armpits, your weight's across your shoulder blades. And then melt and roll all the way down. Oh, hello, hamstrings, yeah? Yeah. Make sure your knees don't collapse in. We're gonna press and hinge and then slowly melt all the way down. No, not just you, I promise. And roll. 2 more. Making sure that we're not letting the foam roller get away from us. We're pressing straight down. Got one more, everybody? Wonderful. And come down. Now we're going to interlace our hands behind our head again, spiraling those elbows forward. Curl forward. Now, even though we've got weight on this, we're going to imagine that we don't, but we're going to push it away. Yeah, and then let it fold in. Just going to adjust mine. So as you push away, the legs barely hover, if at all, and then you can drive it down to get that hamstring active. Now, once you're here, check it out. Are you relying on the foam roller or are you pushing it away to help you create buoyancy? That's what we're hoping to achieve. Two more. Last one, hold it out, float one knee in, rotate. Good, extend. Float the opposite knee in and rotate. Using your breath here. If you need to bring your head down in between, that's okay. If you need to start relying on the foam roller, that's also okay. Couple more. Trying to keep those hips nice and still. Two. Last one. Head comes down, drag the foam roller in. Nice job. How did those feel? So good? Great. We're going to come back up into our bridge. And now all we're going to do is put more weight in our toes and then more weight in our heels. Feel how it changes. Weight in the toes, weight in the heels. Two more. Last one. And then if you're ready for it, you can always float one leg to tabletop and then the other side. Yes. If you need a break, take a break. You can always bring the foam roller in closer to you. You can always get rid of it. Okay. Pressing down with your arms a little bit to help you. You can always bring your feet to the floor instead. One more, each side. Come all the way down. Sway your knees from side to side. It is. And then you can move the foam roller out of the way. Grab your band again. Go ahead and bring one leg at a time to tabletop. Squeeze your inner thighs together as if you're trying to pop a balloon. And then place the band over your shins. Now press your shins up into the band. Now maybe you lift your chest, maybe you don't. We're just going to start pumping the arms. Think about it coming from abs and serratus. If your head is lifted, still abs and serratus. Yep. Try to keep those legs still. Good. Nancy, curl forward. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Hug your knees in. Go ahead, bring one foot into the band. And if you can extend the other leg, please do. Let a little bit of downward pressure help here. And we're just going to let our leg tick-tock. I don't need it to go super far out to the side, just enough that we can still maintain hip stabilization and not drop our leg, right? So we're using our inner thigh to support us when the leg goes out, right? Couple more. This should feel pretty easy in the socket. Don't go into a range that doesn't feel good. And then we can take it out, circle it down and around. And again, if you've ever done reformer work, right? Or work on the springboard, it's kind of similar to having foot springs on. And then other direction. Unless it doesn't feel okay, in which case, stick within a range and direction that does. Last one. Now, a lot of people tend to have a lot of overly excited hip flexors. So we're going to hold on to the band, push. Nope, Push down with the hamstring, flex the foot, allow the thigh bone to freely sink in the socket. And if you want, you can come into your chest lift and think of scissors, but we're just moving one leg instead of both. Yeah. Hey, Nancy. Same leg. Instead of letting your hand come with you, get resistance on the band. Yeah, there you go. But keep your chest lifted. Yeah, there it is. And your head can always be down if you need it to be. Good. 2. Hey, Elizabeth, that looks great. But if you want, support your head. Yeah. And then all we're going to do is bend your knee, push the foot away, allow it to fold in. Now, you can have the band together, or you can have it separated. Head down is great here. You can also bring your elbows through and lift your chest if you'd like the band separated. But I want you to really think about pushing the leg away from your abs and let the band help it fold freely in the socket. 2. Last 1. Head comes down, we get to switch legs. Potentially, come on, band. So first, you're just gonna tick-tock. So now, if it's not appropriate to have that opposite leg extended, that's okay. You can always keep the knee bent. Leg extended is definitely more challenge. Once again, we're not just letting the leg drop, right? We want to find a controlled movement. Good. Couple more. If you feel any popping or clicking or discomfort in the hip joint, don't go into a range that causes that. And then you can circle in a range of motion that feels good and free and easy. Couple more. If I'm honest, I don't normally put hip circles in class and then other side or other direction, because without a band or feet and straps, that doesn't feel great in my body. And I think a lot of us who have overactive hip flexors, it can be uncomfortable sometimes because they really like to help. So the band should be helping with that. Good. 2 more. Last 1. We're going to bend the knee. Oh, sorry, no, straighten the leg. My bad. We're going to push the foot down and away and then allow it to float up. As we do this, right, once again, the band, the tension of the band should increase as the foot goes away, and then it should help the thigh bone sink here. And of course, if you want, you can always come into a chest lift. Think of these like scissors. Good. Did you switch legs? Good. Just checking. Good. And then the way I like to do this is, instead of keeping my arm straight, bend the elbow, rest the elbow on the ground. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Keep curling forward though. Yeah. Couple more. And then if it's appropriate for you, you bend the knee, push it out, fold it in. Or you can do this with your head down, or you can have those reins separated, bring your elbows through and support your head. But same thing, we're pushing the foot away from the abs and then letting the band help it in, right? Don't forget about your deep abdominals. That exhale that gentle engagement. Two more. Last one. All the way out, all the way in. Go ahead, bring your other leg into the band. So both feet are in. You're going to lift your chest, press down with your feet, and see if you can slowly rise. Yeah, good. Fantastic. Now we're sitting up. We're just going to curl and start to roll back. Hold partway back. Shoulder blades melt out of your ears. Tuck your tailbone for me more. Yep. And then widen through your elbows. Yep. Gorgeous. Keep your collarbones wide, like you're taking off a big jacket, right? It's not about the arms going back. It's about the elbows going out. Yeah. Two. Feel how those abs have to kick on more? Yeah. And then bring those arms forward, slowly lower down. And then we curl forward, maybe use your biceps to help you if you need. Yeah, and then restack. And we curl back again. Now this time, we're gonna bend one elbow, slight rotation. Bend the elbow, slight rotation. Nancy, don't necessarily dip down. Just let that elbow come out to the side and follow it with your gaze. Yeah. And then your ribs can gently rotate off your spine. Good. Elizabeth, melt through that shoulder a little bit. Thank you. Good. Stephanie, I know this sounds weird. Try not to retract before you move. So you're kind of pulling your shoulder back before you move. Let that elbow go out to the side first, and then keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes. Last one, each direction. Huh? Yeah. And then slowly come down. And then roll forward. And then we can do roll ups with the band assisting us. Good. Like, oh shucks, you guys. Good. Yeah, so we curl. Yeah, let the band assist. And if you're like, it's too easy with the band, that's fine. You don't have to use the band. Yeah, should give just a little extra assist, right? If you're like, but I'd like more arms, you can always take the arms out to the side on the way up. I know people who want more arms. Yeah. Yeah. Stephanie always wants more triceps. Yeah. Last one. Good, you guys. Now, you can either do one more roll up like this, or if you're excited about the prospect of a teaser with this assistance, you can always think about pushing those feet away. Yeah, and with the band, it's kind of easy, right? In comparison to how it is without the band. So we're still rolling our spine forward. We're just squeezing those inner thighs. And if you're like, I don't really want to do a teaser, you don't have to. Two more. Think about pushing the feet away, connecting them up at the rib cage. And then last one. Nice job. Go ahead. Come all the way up. Knees apart, feet together. Let yourself kind of rock from side to side a little bit. If your hips are tight today, that's no problem. Instead of pushing down, down, down with the elbows, just let the elbows rest on them. And you can push up into the elbow with your knee or your thigh. And then relax. And then again, just gently push up. And then relax. One more. Are you guys ready for some planks? Great. So first, we're going to use our band. It is a big treat, especially with the foam roller. So first, we're going to use the band to see if we can separate out our spinal segments. I know, it's exciting. So I'll tell you. So a lot of times when we move our spine, we tend to want to move everything together, right? If we're like, we tend to want to move everything together or everything together. But it's hard to separate out lumbar movement from thoracic movement sometimes. So what we're going to find is a position with our thoracic. We're going to put the band on our lumbar, and we're going to use the proprioception that the band helps give us to move our lumbar spine independently. And then we're going to move it to our thoracic, same thing. So we can separate out lower back, mid back, okay? So just bring the band onto your lower back. And you can always have your hands on the floor if it's not comfortable to have them on the mat. And you're going to gently being the operative word here, pull the band just taut on your lower back. Now, push the floor away a little bit so you've got a little connection to the floor. And you're just going to let your tailbone paintbrush up with that downward pressure on your low back, right? And then just curl your tailbone down, lift your hip bones. Do you feel how now you're going against the band? Yeah. And then keep your thoracic right where it is. Let your hip bones unwind. And then push again. Trying the whole time to keep your mid back exactly where it was, right? So maybe you want more tension, maybe you want less tension. Couple more. Trying not to let the back grip. Last one. Now all we're going to do is move the band up so it's underneath our armpits. Right. Same idea. We're going to connect to the floor, find neutral with your lower back, right? And with neutral, we're going to press into the floor, let your upper back round a little bit, making sure the shoulders don't just immediately come up to your ears, and then keeping your low back in neutral. We're going to open our collarbones, sink your heart forward, feel that little bit of extension right where that band wants to give you assistance, yeah? And then push just into the band, not letting your low back move. And just forward. Good. Do you feel the difference? Bless you. Yeah, this one's a little tricky. Two more. Now find neutral, right? Neutral thoracic, neutral lumbar. Push, push, push with one hand, lift the other, little kitty cat paw. Reach down, push, other side. Now the band just adds a little bit of variety to the movement, right? Maybe it feels easier. Maybe it feels trickier. Couple more. And down. Good. Now for the exciting part, planks. Now, if planks for you don't feel great or it's not where you are today, you can always stick with a different variation, okay? So I'm gonna show a couple different variations. First of all, if you're ready for it, we're gonna have the foam roller on our forearms. Push into the foam roller a little bit so you're in your thoracic. Now maybe you slide one foot out and slide it back and then do the other side. Maybe this is where you are today and that is great. Everybody join me. Yeah, everybody try this because this is going to tell you if this is where you are. If you're like, yeah, cool, I would like more challenge, come into a plank. If you want more challenge, front support. If you can, try to imagine your hands instead of making or your arms instead of making a triangle, have them on railroad tracks. Couple more. 2. Last one. And knees down. Press yourselves into a rest position. Let yourself come forward a little bit so you get a little stretch. And then if it's appropriate in your body today, we're going to glide our shoulder blades up, glide the shoulder blades down. Don't think about the arms, but notice how as the shoulder blades move, the foam roller and arms come with. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to bring our shins onto the foam roller. Forearms down. Now, if you would instead like to extend, bring it in, and then other side while keeping a knee down, that's fine. If you just want to come into your regular plank, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to press down into the ground, extend the legs. And then inhale, exhale, see about pulling the foam roller towards you, bending your knees. And then extend. Yeah, try it. Yeah. And up. Couple more. Yeah. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be. Elbows down. Elbows down. Bring the foam roller closer to your ankles to start, Nancy. Your ankles need to be higher up. Yeah. Now slowly extend out. Yeah. Boom. And then drag it in. Gorgeous. Yeah. Stephanie, lift your right hip slightly there. Last 2, unless you need a break in case that's your last one. Good. Nice job, everybody. Yeah. And we're going to do a little bit of sideline. Sure. Unless you want to do a little side plank with your side lying, it makes it more challenging. It's pretty fun. So we're going to take our top hip, roll it forward, lift that bottom rib cage. Now, if you would like your head resting on the foam roller, like a nice little pillow, that's great. If you would like a little bit more challenge through that shoulder and glute, push your elbow into the ground, have a little side plank. The foam roller is just there to remind you where you are. We're not relying on it. Extend your leg. Keep that top hip bone rotating forward ever so slightly and push the foot away. Hold. Elizabeth, bring your foot back in space ever so slightly. Yeah, do you feel more glute? and then bring it down. Hey, Stephanie, there's a little extension happening. No big deal, but as you push your foot away, rotate your hip bone forward, close your ribs. Yeah. And then notice if the ribs try to sink. If they do, you've just gone too far, right? Couple more. Still pushing into the floor. Breathe. Last one, hold. We're gonna flex the foot, hip hinge. Point the toe, drag it back. Good. And again. Few more. Reaching that foot away. And 2. Abs are on. Last one. Hold it behind you. Tiny little circles. Keep it behind you. 5, 4, 3. And if you want, of course, you can reach your arm away and then reverse your circle. 2. Last one. Other side. Once again, you can always use your foam roller like a pillow, or you can do the plank variation. It is up to you, but once again, if we're in a plank, we're not just hanging out, we are pushing the floor away. We are in a side plank. Side plank first, everything else secondary. If that is too much, lie down, right? So rotate your top hip bone forward. Elizabeth, push your elbow down into the floor more. Yeah, lift yourself up more. Yeah, good. Then we push that foot away and bring it down. Yeah, push it away. Try not to lift as high. Push more towards me. Yeah, right there. Does that feel a little bit better in the hip joint? As opposed to it coming up as high and forward. Good. Good, couple more. Last 2, last 1. And we hip hinge, so bring it forward. Imagine you have the band. In fact, if you need the band for this to be comfortable, you can always use it. It does create a little resistance on the way back and a little assistance on the way up. So if you need it, of course, grab it. Couple more. 2. Last one, hold it back. Tiny circles. And if you want, you reach that arm away. And then reverse. And we're gonna come all the way to standing. Go ahead, help yourself all the way up, slowly rolling. Good. Now, we started that little heel to toe, and you can always be here, or you can push into the ground, lift one foot. Now, gorgeous. If you've lifted a foot, fantastic. We're actually going to reach our arms and foot away and bring it in. If your foot is in front, you're going to slide it out, keeping your foot on the ground. No problem. 3, 2, last 1, hold, and we're going to rotate our upper body towards that front leg and then away from it. And once again, if you're here, fantastic. Or here even is great. 2, and then we have wonderful news. We get to do the other side. So once again, you can be here, or you can lift And just see where you are. If your foot is elevated, you're going to reach and bring it in. If your foot is not elevated, no problem, slide it out. If you're somewhere in between, find your balance, reach, and then tap if you need to, and then elevate again. And then you tap it down if you need to. Yeah. Good. 3, 2, last 1. And we get to hold for a second and we rotate. So once again, if you're here, great. If you are here, fantastic. If you are here, amazing. Right? 2 more. Last 1. Both feet down. Flip your palms to face the sky. Open your collarbones. Bring it down, slide your shoulders to your ears, drop them straight down. Nice job. Give yourselves a round of applause. It was wonderful to see you. Nice work. I know we did some different stuff. Oh, thank you, Yvonne.